here we are. We're back.
Once again.
Post safari. So things have calmed down a little bit since the safari. Kind of the high point of the trip, I think.
It was. Now we're just cruising the west coast
of Africa and taking in a culture that's vastly different than what we've seen.
Yes.
Definitely living on a lot less money than anybody we know.
Yes.
But beautiful and in its own right, I guess. You know. So we've been a little remiss. We took a few days off of filming because it was so exhausting.
We were on the move quite a bit.
Yes, we were. So we're going to talk about each day, then we'll take a little pause. So, because we want to give you the best experience for our premium subscribers.
Absolutely.
So, our very first stop, getting back on the boat from South Africa.
Sao Tome.
After Namibia, rather. We were in Namibia.
But we already did Namibia.
We did do Namibia. So, yes, Sao Tome. Yes. It's a tiny little island. Huh?
A Portuguese enclave.
Yes. We tried to speak a little Portuguese, and our obrigadas and obrigados were met well, but I think French was more prevailing.
French was very, very prevalent.
We had a bit of, communication issues, and surprisingly, no cell service on this whole island. So not leastwise that
at least not that we could connect to. So no reciprocity with AT&T there.
Yeah. So we got off. First we had to write our tender in to shore, and the part of the port that we landed on was pretty deserted. It was hard to tell where to go. There was a shuttle bus, but somebody didn't want to take the shuttle bus.
Well, that wasn't going where you wanted to go.
Oh, I see. Jeff had found a 5-star.
Well, the first one was probably 4. Then we moved up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a hotel, because our search was truly for internet. We needed to. We had 3 videos that we had to upload.
Yeah.
So, and we wanted to get them up, and so we needed to kill a day sucking up free Wi-Fi somewhere. So Jeff found a nice hotel. Sometimes you have to pay to like lounge by the pool, and sometimes you can just write it out in the bar. Yeah.
We had lunch.
We had lunch, yes.
And a couple local beers.
But we stopped at the first place, and the Wi-Fi was terrible.
Yeah.
It was going to take hours and hours.
It was a nice looking place, beautiful pool,
Mm-hmm.
but no connectivity.
Yes. And we had gotten a bus taxi driver. His name was Nelson. So he didn't want our dollars.
No.
And
well, he couldn't change small bills.
Right. He said he couldn't use anything less than 20. Yes. So we arranged for him that he would come and get us and take us back, and that we would pay him all at one time. He gave us his WhatsApp number. So he took us first place. We found out it wasn't what we needed. We looked on the maps, and we found another hotel that looked very nice from the internet. And it was half mile up the road, maybe.
Oh, yeah. No more.
Yeah. And so we got to walk along the
600 meters.
the seashore. So you could see that at one time they had a nice infrastructure and things had been built up, but that they had been decaying along the way. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the old colonial buildings were still in use, but really needed repairs.
And again, we saw a lot of buildings that looked like they were being constructed and then just stopped.
And then people were stripping anything out of the buildings they could.
That they could. Yeah. Gosh.
For reuse.
Yeah. So, but we walked all the way down there.
Without breaking an ankle.
Oh, that's true. The sidewalk was pretty, pitted.
Yeah.
I thought I saw a woman washing her clothes in the ocean, but maybe not. That doesn't make sense.
No.
You don't use salt water, but okay.
That doesn't make sense. But we did see a woman out on the beach.
Yes.
At the second hotel.
Yeah, just chilling. So we walk in, bigger than please, like we own the joint. walk into the bar, got a couple beers.
And we saw a good sign because there were 2 other people there using the internet,
Yes,
conducting business and stuff. So we did luck out there.
Yes. They had a beautiful pool. And
Yes,
I broke
the
my
infinity
own
pool.
I broke my own rule. My friend Jane will know about this. Never go into a nice place with her. Never go onto an island without a swimming suit. Because I could have really enjoyed that pool while we were uploading.
Yes.
But yeah, we didn't have it.
Yep.
So
you could stare out at our ship in the distance.
Yes, and we were able to upload those videos in about an hour and a half. So that was pretty fast. We had lunch. The beers were $5 a piece. So
If even that.
yeah. And then we ordered a hamburger, and it was $20. So, and we split the hamburger, thankfully. I mean,
It was a good sized burger.
It was. I mean,
And
we
we
didn't
had a
need
plate
any
of
more.
fries.
Yes, we didn't need any more than we had. So, then
Well, then we tried to call Nelson back to
we
come
did.
and get us.
We did, and
And
he wouldn't answer me.
we tried 3 or 4
I
times.
called him. I chatted with him. Nothing. He. So I'm like, oh Nelson, I'm so sorry. We're gonna ditch you. So I had to use Google Translate to the front desk at the hotel to say, we'd like to go back to the port, the harbor. I said, and I'd like to buy a postcard. Because it's postcard today. Gotta send a postcard.
Well, there weren't a lot of tourist shops in this island. It was pretty depressed. So
Yeah.
the front desk did get us a taxi.
He did. And what I forgot was that once we were in the taxi, we had no way to communicate with him at all. Because he didn't speak any language that we understood.
Yeah.
Our Portuguese truly is very poor.
Well, we know 2 words.
Thank you. And we use it a
Both
lot.
the masculine and feminine
Exactly.
form. Well, we know bon dia.
Bon dia. Good morning. So he took us. I thought he would take us to a little shop, and then there was also some rum that was special to this island. And Jeff said, "Oh, I'd like to get some rum," but I forgotten that when I wrote the little message. So the taxi driver actually took us to the tourist office for the island. Pretty sad little tourist office. They don't get a lot of visitors. I think they're just not equipped for it. So I go in and I see a little thing of postcards that truly look like they've been there for 3 years. So I picked out the best one. That's going to my friend Alabama Linda from a couple episodes ago. And out we come, and then I say to the driver, "We'd like to buy some rum." Nothing. And then Jeff said, "Rum."
R-H-U-M.
That'll help. Nothing.
So we stopped at the visitor center. Next thing you know, we get in the taxi, and he takes off. And we're just blowing right past the port.
And I'm thinking he's going to
on?
take us someplace to buy alcohol. We were trying to, describe how to buy, blah, 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 that didn't register.
That didn't work either. So next thing you know, he's taking us on a tour.
Yeah.
And we're going through the downtown, so we didn't need the shuttle after all. And I was about thinking just tell him to stop and get out and wait for the shuttle. But then we'd have to wait in line with all these people that were packed.
Yeah.
So eventually we go out of the town, up a mountain, start down the other side of the coast, and I'm going like,
Other
stop!
side of the island. Stop!
I just said, stop! Turn around to the boat.
Let's go back.
Yeah, he didn't. We couldn't communicate. It was time to start getting back to the ship.
And he was trying to give us a nice
tour
of the island. I felt bad.
So we had coffee and chocolate place. He was taking us to the chocolate factory.
Yes, which had rum.
Yeah.
I found that later. Oh well.
But I was more concerned about getting back to the boat on time.
Jeff's always worried about that.
I don't want to be the one that gets left behind.
You're so brave in other places. if we missed a flight, we missed a flight.
Well, it's different. We'd at least have our charge cards and passports with us.
And you're in a place that's not Sao Tome, that, without phone service. Yeah, your phones pretty much were
worthless.
They were bricks. They were bricks. I could take pictures, but that was it. Yeah. But he did take us back to where we caught our tender. We thanked him. I think you paid him well, I hope.
Mm-hmm.
And then, right on the port, unexpectedly, this beautiful car.
Mid-60s MGB.
It was in great shape, too. Yeah.
Looked good.
Yeah. Jeff was over there looking.
Took a couple photos.
Nobody said, "Hey, what are you doing? Get away from my car."
It was just seemed out of place there.
Mm-hmm.
Compared to all the other beat up cars we saw everywhere else.
Exactly. I don't know. Yeah, you wonder about the story behind it. So that was Sao Tome. You might want to look it up on the map. You'll see it's a tiny little island.
Very, very tiny.
We've been there. And I think, I did have Greedo. I took a picture in the hotel with the flowers.
Yes.
With Greedo. Yeah. So that's Sao Tome. Take a little break and refresh our memories for the next stop. We'll be right back. And we're back.
And we're back. I hope you enjoyed that commercial-free break for our premium subscribers.
I probably put in a few pictures.
Okay. All right.
For the
some
transition.
videos for the transition. So today, where are we?
Togo. So a tiny little country in West Africa.
Yes.
It is on the shore. Very proud people.
Yep.
I would say.
Very little.
Very little. Again, infrastructure is minimal. But this time we docked, so that was nice. On and off
Easy.
the ship. We had signed up for a tour for this time. And our tour was to visit a school and then to see a ceremony in a village. So that was interesting. So luckily, on our bus, I had a window I could see through. Which is, that's a whole nother.
That's a whole nother story.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no longer am I looking for footrests. Now I want a window I could see out. Oh yeah, these poor countries, they don't even, the buses.
It was like the leftover buses that you're getting rid of in Cape Town, all
Down
making
they
up
go.
the coast.
Oh, yeah.
And some no shots, they kind of tilt to weird direction.
Oh, jeez. It would give me a headache, some of them. But anyway, back to Togo. Good windows. We were on a road that was paved. But if you look down the side roads,
Everything was dirt.
All sand roads, yeah. So there was just one road that,
One major highway.
Mm-hmm.
And they were very proud of their little downtown area. It lasted maybe a block.
Evidently there was a marketplace down there. Some of the folks went to it, but we had a long day, so we were tired. But so our first stop was the school, and there were a lot of us there. There were several buses worth of people there. They kind of just let the kids go because obviously we were going to be distracted to any lessons that they were.
I think they were more curious to see us than the other way around.
You never saw so many beautiful faces in your life, and they were all smiling and singing and clapping and happy, and they all wanted their pictures taken. They all wanted.
That was different from some of the other places we went to where if you took a picture of somebody, they got really upset.
Yeah, so I guess we have to ask. Well, we should ask either way. But, so we did take lots of pictures at the school. And the children just singing, they're just so happy. I've never seen so many children in one place at one time.
So there was no power.
Children. Yeah, no power, no running water.
No running water.
The children all had uniforms.
Mm-hmm.
They seemed happy. Now, they did have donation boxes set out, which I thought was good, so you could throw a few bucks in. Hopefully
they were building a new building at the front of the school.
Right. Hopefully that didn't go to the local chieftain. you know,
I don't know.
warlord or something, you know. Gosh.
Well, the culture hasn't changed in centuries.
Mm-hmm.
There are still local chieftains that have their fiefdom. The chieftains also have power of judicial powers.
Yes.
To settle things within
Disputes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the village we visited, the guy had over 7,000 people
And
as his tribe.
yes.
And so yes, they are given a warrant to handle judicial matters within there. Now, if there's anything doing with the crime, these are more domestic
Yes.
settlement kind of
It's
things.
certainly not like murder or anything
Yes.
like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
That then did go to the police.
Right.
But
Back at the school, anything more you want to say about the school?
no, it's just,
Yeah.
it's disheartening
It is. You
to
wonder.
see the modern world and
Yeah.
see that people are still living a
It's-
century ago.
Exactly. It's so many children. There must not be any interest in birth control or
No, not when you're allowed to have up to 4 or 8 wives. And
four
you,
wives is what we've been hearing.
4
yeah.
wives. You're allowed 4 wives, and some of them, you know, if you have 4 or 5 kids, all of a sudden you got 16 kids
Yeah.
running around per man.
Yeah. Gosh.
Uh,
But so then we transferred. We got back to the bus, and we went down. We had to go down the sand road, and all these buses are going there, and
the bus is taking up the whole width of the road.
it's pretty precarious in how they did this. But we get a little further, and I see this woman with a stick. She's holding up a line, a power line,
so the bus can get under. I mean, these. They don't even generate their own power. They were getting it from. They buy all their power in
Ghana.
Ghana or
I
Gambia?
think it was Ghana.
It was Ghana.
Yeah. They used to be part of Ghana.
And once they get a line in somewhere, all you see are hacks into the power lines, and people are running it.
Doing what they got to do.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So they do rest through trees, surprisingly. And like Amy said, they're sitting there holding the wires up with a long stick just so we can get under them.
I don't know how often they have buses come. Maybe
Well,
every time a cruise comes.
Maybe so. They knew what they were doing though.
They did. They did that. Cheers. So we get down there, we get off, and towards the edge of the village, there's a group of people there in their native dress, and they're going to do a ceremony for us, a welcoming ceremony, which was pretty long.
And what was the drink called? It was like offering a drink, they called it.
It was something, we'll have a picture of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they did, they brought out water and wetted the sand. And then the guy, the shaman guy or whatever,
Took a shot.
then after the water was wet, they threw flour
Yes.
down, and then they had like a bottle of some sort of liquor, and they spread that all over into the flour,
But he drank some.
and then he took a shot,
Yeah, yeah.
and then we were welcomed and allowed into the village.
And off in the distance, we could hear drumming and singing. And there were lots of chairs, so we went and sat down. And then a little parade came by.
Procession.
A procession. It was the king and his entourage.
Yeah. And I think the other guy that I had my photo with was more like kind of a chief. He was the major domo.
I think so. It
Yeah.
was like the number 2 guy.
Number 2 guy.
Yeah, yeah. His second, probably.
Number 2. But then on one side were the king's wives, and the other side they had like the village elders who advised the king.
Mm-hmm. And again, the people were so welcoming and smiling and happy to have their pictures taken. I mean, this was before we learned.
There was money coming.
Well, that's true. Well, I'm sure they get, we paid, these excursions are not inexpensive.
No.
They're a couple $100 a piece. So I'm hoping.
Sure they get a cut.
I hope so. I hope the school gets a nice guy. Not overlords, but
Chiefs.
yes. So I have my burrito, and I'm looking around for a place, and I see this little boy just sitting off to the side. So I gave him a burrito.
Soft-hearted Amy.
First, I asked his mother if it was okay to take a picture. I did ask, and she said, sure, sure. So I gave him the burrito, and he wouldn't smile. I'm like, can you smile? His mother said, smile. So he did. He had a great smile. And then, so I watched him a little while later that he gave it to his sister.
Big sister.
Little sister. His baby
Little
sister. Well,
oh, the one that was sitting on the lap, yes.
Yes, yes. And she seemed a lot more interesting, Rito, than he was like, yeah, whatever. Now, the lady, I don't know if that was their mother or their big sister. She seemed very young. Who's to know?
Who's to know?
Yes.
Yes.
So
After all.
they also had some pretty nice bracelets there that I could buy. Oh, here they are. So they're made out of stone beads.
Mm-hmm. Painted.
Yeah, and quite pretty, I think. So, and I got them, for nothing. Again, we're helping people to hopefully,
Put a few dollars.
Yeah.
Put some food in their bellies.
Exactly.
Although it was interesting, the chief was the only guy that was overweight. So he obviously eats well, while the rest of the village
he was older.
scrapes
He had more
by.
time.
I don't know.
Now, that is something, if you take a tour and you're going to less developed places, sometimes we get cash out of the machine in the local currency, but we almost always try to stop by the front desk and get some really small bills in American currency.
Yeah.
So most places, they'll take your ones and your fives, and don't expect any change back. So,
Yeah.
But
Everything's
they're happy.
conveniently a multiple of the dollar.
And they know how many dollars they want for something. Now, sometimes you bargain and sometimes you don't. So,
Well, you got some of the bracelets for $1.
that was in a different place.
Oh,
We'll talk about
okay.
that soon.
All right.
These are more substantial. So, yeah. I paid $5 for two.
3. Oh, so 2.
Yes.
Okay.
I was happy to get them. I had to reach in there and grab and hand her the money real quick and get out of them.
Oh, because everybody was in there.
Oh, well, yeah, you had 3 busloads worth of people trying to buy something. And
There's
she didn't have a
probably
lot.
60, 70 people.
Oh, easy.
Guessed. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a crush of people.
Then then the procession left, and we kind of walked around the village.
Watch more dancing, and yeah, we were invited to go anywhere in the village you wanted. Look inside the buildings, and I didn't want to be that invasive.
No.
Yeah. So.
Yes. Okay.
That's all for Togo.
Yeah, that was it.
Okay.
Back to the boat.
Yeah.
A shower to get the dust and heat off of us.
Yeah.
It
It was hot. The sun was very hot there. Yeah. Yeah, because you're very, well, that was one thing about Sao Tome that we didn't mention. Right on the equator.
Yes.
So
It was back hot and humid again.
it was hot. Yeah. Another reason I would like to have my swimsuit. But, and then Togo too, very close to the equator. So yeah, hot all the time, dusty. Yeah. Okay, so that's all for Togo.
We'll see you till we Togo again.
Okay. Hey, God.
Bye.
Hello, hello. So, yes.
We're back again with another quick stop on Western
We
Africa.
remember now. So the next day we were supposed to go to Ghana.
Yeah, but
And-
we blew it off. It was
Yeah.
just too windy for the boat to dock.
Yes.
And the harbor master wouldn't let the ship in.
Yeah.
And
So
all of a sudden, we're at breakfast. And the ship feels like it's keeling over.
yes.
And
I looked out the window. I could not see the sky. It was
we
all
were
rock.
staring down.
So we had to bend.
It was pretty steep.
Yeah.
We were so close to the harbor, even though we were slowing down, they had to do a really hard turn before we got trapped in the harbor.
Yeah.
And
That
so
was
we
an
had
adventure.
that was
I
quite
like,
the adventure.
What's happening? Of course, we didn't know. We figured out later what had happened. But I'm like, this is one hell of a way. And so I'm waiting for it to go back the other way, and it never did.
Yeah,
so
I
was
came
really
back to normal.
Yeah, I was really confused. So yeah, that made sense later.
We were able to eat breakfast without falling over.
Yes.
So we had a nice day to relax.
We called that our cruise snow day.
That's right.
It was an unexpected sea day. So yes.
I think we stayed in bed till 11.
Yeah, and soaked up some sun on the deck. Soaked up some shade, really.
Yeah, that's all we can say about Ghana, because we just blew past it.
I don't even know that I saw it. So,
when we ride it up, you could see the land, but that was all we saw. So, the next day we were able to dock.
Yes.
And we were in the Ivory Coast,
otherwise known as Côte d'Ivoire.
Côte d'Ivoire. In Francais.
So very much a French
former colonial.
Yes. So the French was everywhere. Now I will say that my French is significantly better than my Portuguese.
Yeah, we know at least 10 words.
Yeah, exponentially better. I can say excuse me. I can ask for help.
Yeah.
I can ask for the toilet. I can ask for the chat.
Indeed. Now, the interesting thing about this stop is one of the first where we're not talking about the heat.
That's
because
true.
we had major rain coming down.
It was a rainy day. Yeah. So we did not sign up for a tour in Côte d'Ivoire. We decided that we would just take the shuttle bus, and it had 2 stops. So this was a negotiation too. So you could stop at the first stop, which was a huge arts market.
Traditional.
Yes. And then the next stop was a mall. And then you go all the way around back to the boats. So it does, triangle. So do you go to the mall and then ride all the way around back to or do you just get off at the market?
We just got off at the market.
Yeah. Except it's raining.
It's raining.
And
it started raining harder.
Yes. And the market's all outside. So yeah, we were drenched.
And the roof lines of the little stalls within the market were right where you would stand to look at the wares. And so the water's coming off
to turn it right down your neck.
right on us.
And everybody, again, this is a country that, people are scratching out a living. So everyone there is super, super excited to show you their wares. Yes. So everyone's talking to you. Oh, ma'am, I give you the best price. So, hello, America. I have very good things.
Yeah.
I have many beautiful things, yes.
And they did.
Yeah.
It's just the problem is, how do you get all this stuff home?
Well, exactly. So you can't buy anything very big.
Yeah, I mean, some of the carvings were huge.
And I don't know that I have a need for African masks.
No,
that's not in my decor style. So, though I can appreciate them.
It's good just to look at them.
I agree.
And
so we did walk around a lot. I did see a rug that, it was, I would have used it as tablecloth. It was a nice heavy woven cloth. So the guys told me $50.
Yeah.
I just said, no. I said 10. And then I think, and he's like, well, how much would you pay? And then I'm thinking, I don't have that much money with me. And I'm certainly not going to give this man my credit card.
Yeah.
Even if he would have taken it. I don't know if he had a manner in which to process it. But yeah, so yes, I broke his heart, walked off. Learned the best lesson. Ladies, this is a good one. Take this with you whenever you're high aggressive salespeople. I'm looking at baskets and just looking at me like, oh dear God.
Another basket.
What on earth are you going to do with that basket? So I looked at the guy and I said, my husband said no. And he just backed off. That was the end of that. So I'm like, oh my God, that really works. My husband said no. They will not get in the way between a husband and a wife. So.
Yeah, that was pretty good. But you did find a piece of art and meet the artist.
I did. It was unusual. It was completely different than anything else we saw there. It was acrylic painted on glass.
Acrylic.
Painted on glass. Or no, painted on acrylic.
Yes.
It was paint on acrylic.
Acrylic paint on acrylic.
Okay. Looked like glass to me.
Yeah.
And of course he wrapped it up so well that I don't want to unwrap it because looks like it could be somewhat fragile. But I did get a picture with him, and he was very excited. At first he told us the price, and it just sounded like so much money. And again, we didn't have much, so I'm like, oh, we'll have to go get some money. We'll be back.
Amy had all of $10. She had to borrow $5 from me to get the painting.
Well, yeah, so then I took his price and I put it in my calculator and I went, oh, honey, I think we can afford this. So he made us set.
Yes.
Good.
That was
And
good.
I wasn't going to negotiate with him either. So, yes, it was a good price for a beautiful piece of art.
So that worked out good. And from there, we went back to catch the shuttle bus.
And we waited a good 25 minutes there.
At least.
And now we found a little super box umbrella to stand under that I think was a lottery
Ticket place.
There were guys kind of walking around us into the little booth and back out, and yeah. And we're just sitting there waiting.
So then we went from the average part of town
Yes.
to their little downtown area. That,
Yes.
again, you have a couple blocks, lots of banking.
Yeah. Yeah. Built up.
Mhm.
Definitely 2.5 world.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And the mall was modern,
Very modern.
glass.
It was
high end. I wouldn't say super high end, but fairly high end stores.
It had a mix of traditional and luxury goods.
Well, these were all manufactured, not hand produced.
Exactly. Yes, but I mean there were beautiful traditional dresses that you could buy, African style, in some of the shops. But there were regular Western clothes.
Yeah.
There was an Adidas store, and yeah. So the fellas like that stuff, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But there was a Mont Blanc store, and the one department store had MAC cosmetics. So.
There was a high-end wristwatch store,
Yes.
Rolex, Tag,
Yes.
all the high-end things like that.
There was a Swarovski store. So I went in there, and then my husband promptly told everyone in front of me, no. So that was funny. Yes, not a lot of, we're just not mall shoppers at this point in our life. Yes. But it was interesting and dry.
Yeah. And the prices in that mall were all Western prices. I mean, my Mont Blanc pins were $1,000.
Oh, okay.
They even had one that was $3 million.
Yeah, the Swarovski jewelry I was kind of pricing, and I would say it wasn't quite as much as normal, but yeah. I mean, nothing I needed or wanted to buy.
Yeah.
I was just curious to the pricing and looking at the pieces, so yes.
And you could tell the difference between the cars that were parked outside the mall.
And even the shoppers. Yeah. I saw
Mercedes and BMWs were very popular there.
definitely some income inequality going on.
Oh,
Yes.
a whole lot.
Yes. There was one store that we did spend a lot of time in.
A French wine store.
Yes, because this is a French enclave, so they do get the French wines. I suspect they might be subsidized in some manner,
I don't know.
or at least maybe the shipping is, back and forth to France a lot. And because honestly, I didn't think the prices were horrible.
No.
I did spot the bargain in the store. They had a rosé that we drink at home. We call it the Amy Rosé.
Yes, with the curvy bottle.
Yeah. $13. So, now, you said that wasn't a bargain, but
It was a fair price. I mean, for drinking in the room, it was great. We're taking up on the deck.
we're paying $50 for
Yeah.
a bottle here. So yeah, so we proudly brought on our 2 bottles. And then I had heard, or maybe read in the little ship's magazine, that Cote d'Ivoire is one of the biggest producers of cacao. So when I was in the store, I said to
chocolate.
Yes, so I had to use my Google Translate. I said, "Do you sell any local chocolate?" He said, "Sure," but he only had little bars, so I got a bunch of little bars. We haven't opened them yet, but I'm not supposed to eat chocolates.
They'll make
but
great
I'm all
gifts.
set.
They'll be good gifts.
They'll be good gifts. Yes. So I got some local chocolate. I'll be curious to hear how that goes. Yeah. And then as I'm paying, Jeff's going, "The bus is here. The bus is here." So we run out. Actually, we had to stop the bus.
Yes.
Wait, please. Yes.
And they stopped for us.
They did. They were very kind.
We didn't want to wait another half hour
Yeah.
for the bus to come along.
Yeah, there's only so much you can look at. Yeah. So that was Cote d'Ivoire.
Au revoir, Cote d'Ivoire.
Au revoir. Yes. And another day goes.